Maybe she didn't. Maybe I'm repeating myself. It don't matter much. But anyway, we got our guest here now. Dre's on the microphone. So how you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you?
Good to have you back on the show.
Always good to be here.
You've been keeping busy, and we're going to talk about what you got going on and what you're up to. But let's talk about first, for those who haven't heard you on the show before, a little bit about yourself. We've discussed this every time, but you're a Hamilton area boy.
Yeah, I'm a Hamilton born and raised, went to McMaster University, graduated in poli-sci, and career was started by a Spanish artist, Schussel Jones, in 2012, and since then been doing music ever since.
Yeah, now you work with a bunch of people in town. You said you've been sort of striking out and doing a bit of stuff more solo, but you do have a solid crew of people who have helped you out and you've worked with, collaborated with over the years and stuff like that. Is that something that you've enjoyed doing up to now? Is that kind of collaborative process and working with other people?
Yeah, I mean, for starting out, I think it was really good because you kind of spreading out to different genres at the same time as you're working on yourself.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like finding myself, man. I like working alone and controlling what I do.
Yeah. Now, how much of the, so you're the talent, but you're also the producer? Do you produce a lot of most of your own tracks?
No, I don't actually produce at all.
Okay.
I'm always working with different producers. For a long time, artist out of Hamilton, Don Carlo, produced a lot of my stuff.
Yeah, that's right. And he was on here last time you were in. He was in with you, I think.
Yeah, he came here with a bunch of the crew before.
Yeah. Well, didn't you just work with a fairly hotshot producer on something recently?
Yeah, I worked with a pretty good producer. His name's Juan De Sedas.
Yeah.
And he's worked with Pitbull and Shakira and stuff like that, but we did a bunch of original stuff. Some for me for the future.
Yeah. And
then most of it was for other artists. We're going to be focusing a lot on publishing this year. 2016 is about really focusing on the songwriting.
Well, didn't he also play the accordion on the soundtrack to Fast and Furious 7 or something like that?
Yeah, he did the accordion on one of the tracks on Fast and the Furious 7.
That's hilarious. Now, so there's somebody who's working at a level, like, this is somebody who's pretty high profile, not a common name, but working on projects that are common name, right?
Yeah, he's really in it.
How do you hook up with someone like that professionally? How does that happen?
Well,
or at least in your story.
I do, a lot of my covers with a producer out of Mississauga named Alvaro Diaz. And he's a Spanish dude. He's a Latin dude. Yeah. And Juan is also a Latin guy. And back in the day, they used to work with a Spanish artist. So I connected to Juan from Alvaro just by doing Spanish music.
Cool. And the Spanish music stuff that you do, I mean, you said it just a few minutes ago talking about collaborating. You've experimented in different genres and done different things. Do you feel like the Latin thing is kind of where you're currently headed? Is it sort of like the main thing you're into right now? Or is it still a bit of a mix of genres for you?
Yeah, I think publicly my main thing is definitely a Latin audience. I think my main audience is a lot of, I get a lot of Venezuela, a lot of Ecuador on YouTube, but for me, the main stuff I write is definitely not Latin, but I think as an artist, I'm two people. As a songwriter, I'm one person. As an artist, I'm another, and I like separating the two, and eventually I think that they will coincide, but right now it's definitely a main Latin audience.
It's interesting when that happens, right? Like you look at big, huge artists like Sia who were known as songwriters before, and now like she's performing, she's huge, she's performing her own material. It's kind of the same thing. Eventually it kind of came around into one, not persona, but one public face kind of deal. So
yeah, exactly.
So you've been busy lately too. Like you were just up to something. Was it Monday night?
Yeah, no. Monday night they got there's a good competition out of Ancaster. It's hosted by Pub Fiction, and they got like an American Idol style competition. Yeah, they got different judges from successful people in Hamilton. We got one night Steve Strongman was there. Guys from Monster Truck. Nice. I got Gord Lewis from Teenage Head was one of my judges, and every week it changes up, but yeah, it's good. It's getting involved a lot of different artists from Hamilton. We need more stuff like that, I think.
Well, yeah, I think that Bills in Hamilton tend to be like very like-minded. If it's an underground hip-hop show, it's some of the underground hip-hop guys. If it's a metal show, it's the metal guys. It's, an indie rock show. But something like that you were involved in is going to be like a blend of scenes, right? You wouldn't think Monster Truck or Teenage Head and your music are going to fit side by side, but your neighbors in the city, right? Like
exactly.
Your neighbors in Hamilton, so why not put the music together,
Yeah, it was cool. It was nice that there was, the same night there was a lot of country guys, there was different like rock, and then I go up and I'm singing half Spanish, a little bit of Justin Bieber that night I sang, and it's like, nice. It's good though. It's nice that we can do that in the city and have that diversity and have a a punk rock judge doing the judging.
Sure, yeah. Well, I think about when we did the Junos contest. You guys kind of came in second place for it. You almost won that, right?
Yeah, well, we did the People's Choice.
You did the People's Choice.
Yeah.
Awesome, right? Which is super cool. And that was a whole crew of the people who you were collaborating with at the time.
Yeah.
And that night was kind of like that. You know, like you had some people from the punks. Everyone had written an original song for it to be a Junos theme, but you had you guys, and then you had Hashi, and then you had these people who normally did punk rock, and some acoustic singer-songwriters. And it was kind of cool that we televised that, and that was kind of the same idea. You know, it was everybody mixing it up in one room, doing their own take. So it's kind of nice to see that for a change, you know?
Yeah, and I think that seems to be the direction that I find that the city's music is going, you know what I mean? It's great that we can do these different things and have them on the same TV show or on the same competition kind of thing.
Yeah. Now, how much of your stuff, like you're a songwriter and you perform, how much of the time do you get out there and do it live? Is that something, like, is the live show as important to you at this stage in your career, or is it just something you do once in a while to keep your chops up, so to speak?
Yeah, for me right now, it's definitely just to keep the chops up. I think I'm really focused on the songwriting. I really want to make my name as a writer, so I've been focusing a lot with like finding the right producers and finding the right publishing companies that suit the kind of artist that I am. And I like going out and doing the bars because I want my name to be out there, because there will be a time where I come out as an artist.
Yeah.
But right now it's if I happen to get a call for like, hey, we would love you to come out, I'm always going to do the gig, but it's definitely a focus on the songwriting for me.
That's cool. And that's a whole other thing. I don't think most people even know, if they wanted to be a songwriter, how do you get into that world of publishing and having other people performing your music? That's a tricky thing. I think it's a mystery to most people, you know?
Yeah.
Was it a mystery to you when you started doing it?
Yeah, like if it wasn't for artist Shuso Jones, he's given me a lot of direction, because I know he does a lot of focusing on, he does more songwriting than, even though he is a successful artist.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of people who don't know that there are these publishing companies who are kind of like these third-party companies that the labels will go to and be like, hey, this is our artist, this is what we're looking to do, what can you give us? What can you guys write for us? And I see myself doing that. I think it's not as known that a lot of big artists came out that way.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of big artists have never written their own stuff. They look to guys like you,
exactly,
right? Who are working for the publishing companies. And some of them say they do, but there's controversy. I'm not talking about Drake.
Yeah, you never know.
Those accusations have been dogging him for a while. I don't know. Maybe they're true. Who knows? But so you do have something that you have, as a performer, put out recently. You have a new video.
Yeah, I have a new video. It was really good. I've been collaborating with an artist that I met actually with the Junos.
Yeah,
he played the guitar. He's 16 years old. He's from Hamilton, and the way this guy plays the guitar, I mean, you guys will hear it on the radio. He's really good, and I like to keep up with the Latin stuff, bring it to Hamilton, give everybody a new flavor. So there's a song called Hasta El Amanecer, and I found it, and I was like, I gotta cover this, put a little acoustic spin on it, because the original's very reggaeton, it's very clubby, so I want to bring a new vibe to it.
Cool. Well, let's check it out. Actually, we got it right here. We're gonna spin this, and then we'll be right back with Dre. And I'll we joked before we came on about how I would probably not be best to say the name of the song, so I'll let you introduce it one more time, because my pronunciation will be brutal.
Okay. Well, this is Hasta El Amanecer,
and this is 93.3 CFMU.
It's Dre Pao.
Almost missed that cue. 93.3 CFMU. Yeah, I'm a professional. I've done this for a couple of years. What can I say? Anyway, so the original of that has got a whole different vibe, you're saying?
Yeah, completely. It's very clubby, the original, if you brought that up. But yeah, I really try to give a little taste of what my original stuff would be like with the covers. With the English part is a completely, like, it's not a translation. We did a whole different flow, a whole different lyrics, because you want to give it that original vibe.
Sure, yeah. And it's kind of cool that you can do something like that, because then what you're basically doing is, it's not your tune, but it's gonna not, how to say this, it's not going to lead people in the wrong direction. They're going to hear it and go, oh yeah, this fits in with what we know about this guy and his work, right? So
it's like a transition process, you know what I mean? I started really doing the covers for exactly very similar to the original, but now I want to start transitioning into it. You know, I want to show people that I am an artist and I'm very diverse.
Very cool. Well, you got anything coming up in the next couple of months? Or is it sort of a just buckle down and pen to paper kind of situation right now?
Well, I'm always going to be in the studio recording original stuff, but every Monday we got the competition keep going with the Pub Fiction thing.
Yep.
We were at 50 people, narrowed it down to 30, and now they're going to narrow it down to 8 by the end of February. So
cool.
If you guys want to check out the competition, it's going on every Monday at Pub Fiction.
Every Monday, what time does that start up usually?
It starts at 8 and usually goes to about 10:30.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. You could come check it out. Hosted by Steve Ruddick, CHCH, and you might see a local Hamilton celebrity there. And
probably, yeah. There's a lot of people who also live out in Ancaster and want to do something on a Monday night.
Coming to check it out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, Dre, man, always good to have you on the show. Thanks for dropping by. We're going to head out on a little bit of Saint Germain, and this is 93.3 CFMU. Thanks for tuning in. We're here for a little bit more.